Okay, folks, this week's course is called the Bear Trace at Cumberland Mtn. It is a Jack Nicklaus course, and it is approximately an hour, maybe 2 hours west of Knoxville, Tennessee. I had the opportunity to go down there and play the course, which I took advantage of. It was a really nice course, and I want to say that it's important to understand that this is one of the 7 courses on the Cumberland Golf Trail, and I don't know anything about the other courses. I found out about it when I was there. They said, oh, look, by the way, there's 7 courses on the trail. You can check those out and check those out online. I said, okay, I'll do that. You can, while you're sitting there watching this video, do that. This course was a slope 141 course, and it was about 6850 from the back tees. And this course is definitely more of your standard woods course. It's a very rustic kind of, I guess, clubhouse, but it's really nice and well-equipped clubhouse. They have a lot of golf gear there and a nice restaurant there inside the, I would say, very nice snack bar, let's say, inside the clubhouse. And electric carts and everything. And the greens were really fast, really fast. Surprisingly, it had that kind of longish blade grass. It looks like regular grass, but just miniaturized. And they were exceptionally fast, although they had the same problem that I've seen in a number of courses where the aeration, again, did not quite work out as planned, and about 75% of the greens were covered with nice grass, and 25% of the greens were black with dead spots where you could see the aeration holes. So I've been surprised lately with courses that I've played that actually have done aeration late in the year. I'm not used to seeing it after April, but the last 3 or 4 courses that I've played have had it done clearly, July, August time frame. So in this case, it worked out okay, but not completely covering the greens, which is not too surprising considering that when you have a woods course and you aerate and you expect it to grow back in, there's a lot of shade in a woods course, and quite often a lot of the green is not quite in sun or doesn't get solid sun, and it can be tough. It can be a challenge to have the fairways grow back in entirely, and this course definitely suffered from that. Although where the grass was on the greens, it was very nice, very fast. I mean, it was probably among the fastest greens I've ever played. And the course in general was in very good condition. I won't say, excellent condition, but it was a nice layout. It was nicely styled and manicured and landscape layout. But the difference is that this was mostly a flat course. It had some variation, some verticality to it, but not a lot. It was more like, okay, so you might hit a tee shot and the fairway is 15 feet below the tee boxes, and then in a lot of cases there were some swales and so forth that were not the kind of places you'd want to play through, but they were the kind of place you'd play over, and then you'd play down and maybe another 10 feet or up another 10 feet to the green. Very little of this course was the kind where you could, play a ball from tee to green, hitting it every 25 yards. You almost always had to cover some kind of swale, but not always. And certainly there were some holes where it was just flat from tee to green, or maybe a 15-foot rise from tee to green, but there was no carry between the tees and the greens, and you just had to play out. Although on some of the holes there were some carry. So it was a really nice course in the sense that this is a kind of course that I expect to see at some kind of country club or something, but it wasn't a country club course. It also was very, very quiet. I'm out in the middle of a big state park, well away from the nearest major highway or major road, and you just get out there in the woods and just hit around. And while it did have a fair amount of water and there was the occasional noise from a car or from a plane, it was very infrequent. Another check for the isolated golf course where you could go out and play and just enjoy yourself and have a good time without worrying about too much noise. So the one thing that does kind of creep up in a situation like this is you do have to worry about some landscaping while you're playing during the week. In this case, I had gotten out on the course after they had a tournament, so it was like 4 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock when I got out there, and there was no landscaping. But the round that I played before at Pack Saddle Ridge, there was at least one guy out there doing landscaping during play. It still is a bother when I have to deal with landscapers while I'm playing, but on this course there was absolutely nothing like that. It was basically wide open. I didn't have the course quite to myself, but it was largely to myself, and just a fun course. It wasn't super fun, but it was a consistent challenge. A lot of good challenging tee shots, a lot of good challenging approach shots, and definitely good challenging putting. But at the same time, it wasn't super hard. It was not one of those courses where you're bleeding, sweating, cursing every other shot. This was much more of a course where it's really less stress for the course and more stress for you just forgetting the finer points of play. And you know, I could see Jack Nicklaus making this course and going, okay, we'll make the course somewhat of a challenge for you. Now the question is, can you play it well? Okay, and what can happen in a course like this very easily is you forget one or two nuances of your swing and you know, miss a shot off to the left or to the right, and it's going to go into some decent woods, and there's a good chance you lose the ball if it does so, but there's also a good chance that you won't lose the ball. It's not like entirely, you know, like a jungle in the woods. It's not entirely dense. It's not like the fairways, adjacent fairways, were completely isolated. You could play back from an adjacent fairway. So I'd say it was about 50% chance. On maybe one side, the outside of the course, it's dense woods, but to the inside of the course, there's a good chance. And also, some of the holes had very good valleys in front of the hole, in front of the green. The par threes were definitely well done. The only thing that was, I think, a decent challenge to this course was the combination of the fact that there were a fair number of blind shots off the tee and a lack of any course map. I didn't see a course map on the course. There were no course maps at the tee boxes, and the scorecard did not have a course map. And I really found myself quite often rolling up or just taking a blind shot, you know, or hitting short to the top of the ridge in front of me and then playing from there. So this was a challenge. The only yard markers they had were the 200 and 100 yard markers out on the course. So it was a challenge to get yardage, and it was a challenge to hit forward. And you have to be careful in this course because on a number of the holes there's a sudden drop. They have a system where they have two yellow flags at the edge of a sudden drop, and if you hit past those flags, the ball is going to drop like 20-30 feet down into some kind of crevice. So you have to be aware of this and look forward to see if that kind of thing happens. It's not just a matter of there's a fairway flag, there's also a crevice flag. But other than that, it was fun. I think it was a really decent course. I wouldn't say it was one of the most fun courses that I played, but it was quite a decent course. It was not that expensive. I'd say it was $50 with a cart in Twilight. I think they gave me $30 for a cart with Twilight, and normally it would have been like $40 with a cart in Twilight. And they have a nice system online. You can get your tee times, and it was just booked solid for 2 days. And I just called up and I said, look, I'm going through town today, and was it possible I can get on the course? And they're like, yeah, you can come in around 3 o'clock and get on after the tournament we're having today. So I raced out there, took advantage. It was a great course to play. I wouldn't call it the course of my life, but it was definitely a good outing, a good fun outing, a good challenge. Not too difficult, not too easy. Very nice greens. It was nice to be making some 20-foot putts again. Just really nice. But I still say that it's still got enough verticality where some of the greens are 3-putt greens. I think that I would say this was a B star course. I wouldn't call it a B plus. It wasn't quite that fun, that good of a course, but definitely a little bit better than a B, if not quite a B plus. That is Bear Trace at what is it? Not Shenandoah Mountains. But anyway, I said at the front, it's going to be in the description. And I hope that if you're driving by sometimes, you're driving by Knoxville sometimes, you'll take the hour out of your way to give this course a run. It's definitely a good course. I have been through that part of Tennessee between Arkansas and say Roanoke and see quite a few good courses. They're definitely worth stopping by to play, and I hope to continue to go out there and play and try some courses in West Virginia. I will definitely be getting out on the road in the next 6 months to play some more courses.